I'm sorry, but if God can really watch over billions of people, then he's more than capable of pleasuring himself. Even we can manage that. God wouldn't pleasure himself anyway because he knows it can make you go blind. Oh, sorry, you're over there.
Well, ha, ha, ha.
Whose pants are literally on fire?
Yours?
Please pass your papers to the front of the class and let's tackle 7 lies about God.
7 lies? Well, okay then. And there's me thinking there was only one lie about God. And what is that lie? Well, duh, that he even exists in the first place, obviously. Hi, it's me, Creaky. Now, I haven't covered Wretched Radio for a while, but I came across this video this morning and I thought I would see if Todd Friel is still an insufferable turd. And spoiler alert, he is. So let's get into it, shall we?
Here we go. God doesn't exist.
There is no God.
Oh, how disappointing. Oh, well, thanks for watching, everybody, and don't forget...
Sorry. The person who utters this absolute inanity has an agenda because the single most intuitive conclusion that we can draw is if you have a creation, you have a creator.
So the watchmaker argument then. Brilliant, Todd. I see that you too studied at the Kent Hovin School for Morons. The watchmaker argument relies on an analogy that does not hold true, and it does not provide any conclusive evidence for the existence of God. Creationists do know what evidence means, right? Additionally, it has been criticized for being based on the assumption that the universe must have a purpose or a design, which is not necessarily true. And furthermore, it also fails to provide any explanation for the nature of God or how this so-called God created the universe. So in short, it means absolutely nothing in terms of proving God exists.
If you have morals, you have a moral lawgiver.
I have a moral lawgiver. It isn't God, though.
Mr. I am the law.
Morals are principles or rules of behavior that guide a person's actions and decisions. They're often based on cultural and personal beliefs and can vary widely between individuals and groups. There's no one definitive answer to where morals come from. What the hell makes people like Todd think God did it?
Why do they deny what is obvious?
Now, if I was to say to you that I'm wearing glasses, that's obvious. They're right here. On my face. You can't miss them or deny them. So what exactly makes creationists think that God is obvious? I can't wait to hear this, because you can't see God, you can't hear God, or demonstrate him. So to say that it's obvious is a bit of a stretch, in my opinion, even for a creationist.
Because their agenda is to sin.
Okay, let's talk about that then. What is a sin? Well, by definition, a sin is an immoral act considered to be a transgression against divine law, which begs another question. What is a divine law? Well, divine law refers to a set of laws or principles that are believed to have been given by a deity or a supernatural force. Well, that means that sin isn't real then, doesn't it? Just like God. Who'd have thunk it? All sin is, and again, this is only my opinion, but as far as I can tell, all sin is a tool used by religion to keep other religious people under control or to keep them living in fear.
As a side note, if you've wondered how is it that people can deny pink and blue, boy and girl, 2 genders.
And there it is, another young earth creationist proving that their entire belief system is predicated on hate. Todd, it's 2023, mate. Things have moved on a lot since the Bible was written thousands of years ago. And to state that there are only 2 genders is not only cruel, but it's wrong. It takes all sorts, Todd. Just ask Bertie Bassett.
It's easy. Once you've denied the existence of God, which is even more obvious than genders, well, then you can deny anything.
So it's more obvious that God exists than it is that I'm a man. That makes absolutely no sense, you clown. I won't repeat the point, but glasses, obvious. God, not obvious.
Lie number 6.
I was going to accuse him of not being able to count, but then I realised he's doing the top 7, starting at 7 and working towards 1. Sorry, my bad. As you were, Todd, carry on.
All paths, all journeys lead to the same God.
Okay, my pluralistic friend, which happens to be basically the majority of Americans these days. Here's a question, if you're a pluralist. If Jesus Christ really is God in the flesh, and if Jesus lived a perfect life of morality, died a brutal death that sinners like me, like you.
Not like me, pal. I don't believe in God, so I can't commit a sin. Like I said, if God isn't real, then neither is sin, is it? And as a side note, and this is based on the assumption that Jesus was a real person, wasn't his best mate a prostitute? He lived a morally perfect life, did he? But as I said, that is only applicable if Jesus was a real historical figure.
If Jesus went to that much effort and even stated that he is the exclusive way, the exclusive truth, the exclusive one, if pluralism is true, then Jesus would have added,
I was just kidding! Come on!
get there any way you want to. I don't care what you believe in. He would not.
Christianity teaches that Jesus is the only way to salvation and eternal life. But different branches of Christianity have different beliefs and practices. Pluralism is the belief that many paths can lead to salvation. So creationists are not only saying that all atheists are terrible people, I so say, but people that follow other religions are terrible people as well, because they're religioning the wrong way.
Why would he do all of that and then let us worship a piece of wood?
I'd rather worship a piece of wood. At least I'd know I was worshiping something real.
When you think about what Jesus said, what he did, it's clear pluralism, it just doesn't even make sense.
Why? Because it doesn't align with your beliefs? These people never cease to amaze me, and not in a good way either. So I guess it is true then. There's no hate like Christian love.
Lie number 5. God does not get involved with human affairs.
The order of the universe seemed to suggest that it couldn't just have been random, that there may have been a designer, but the designer didn't take any part in human affairs.
So this is classic deistic thinking.
Deistic thinking is different from theism, which is a belief in the existence of a god or gods, and that the divine intervenes in the world. Deists often reject the idea of divine intervention, miracles, and revelations. And they also reject the idea of a personal God who intervenes in the world to answer prayers, for example.
1,503 prayer requests.
So they're halfway there because he doesn't. But you're doing it again, Todd. Everyone is doing God wrong except young earth creationists.
God, he's so transcendent, so distant, so different. God is not involved at all with our life and our world. He just set the place spinning and went and took a nap or went to a party.
Well, it sounds like God is the ultimate delegator, setting the universe in motion and then taking a hands-off approach. I hope he's at least left an instruction manual in case something goes wrong, or a number to call in case of an emergency.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
If that's true, then life has no meaning.
Oh, this old chestnut. Well, maybe your life has no meaning, but mine is overflowing with the stuff. I find meaning in all sorts of things, like my family, my friends, my own personal achievements. Although that being said, they couldn't be somebody else's personal achievements. And service to others, doing people favors, doing kind things. Now, some may find meaning in their own personal beliefs or philosophies, such as the pursuit of knowledge or searching for inner peace. Isn't being here enough? You do realize that the probability of you existing as you comes out to being 1 in 10 to the power of 2,685,000. That's a 10 followed by 2,685,000 zeros. And for comparison, the known universe only has 10 to the power of 80 atoms. So it's as close to zero as you can possibly get without it actually being zero. So maybe we should all just concentrate on being grateful that we're here at all. Just a thought, Todd.
The good thing is we know that God is invested and involved with human affairs because he's revealed himself.
I knew there was something a bit off about this God guy. He's a flasher. Ugh, disgusting.
Lie number 4.
The God of the Old Testament is arguably the most unpleasant character in all fiction.
Well, you'll get no argument from me, for once.
But the God of the New Testament, he's pretty sweet, loving, and forgiving. Okay.
This guy's such a knob.
Because God is immutable, his character doesn't change between testaments. He's righteously angry and perfectly loving and forgiving in both the Old and New Testaments.
Well, it looks like God's mood swings are on point. He's perfectly loving and forgiving in one testament and righteously angry in the other. I guess he's got the whole yin-yang thing down to a fine art then, isn't he?
Lie number 3. God, he doesn't know our decisions before we make them.
But how could he? I mean, most of the time I don't even know my own decisions before I make them. Let's just look at this logically. There are now 8 billion people on Earth. Let's say 50% of them believe in God, although I suspect it's probably much higher. How is one person keeping an eye on them all? I got 3 kids, and it was a nightmare trying to keep an eye on them when they were little.
Open theists simply believe that when God created the world, he created it with possibilities.
That is a horrifying lie, according to the Bible.
Yeah, now as soon as I hear the words according to the Bible, I switch off. Let's just hear number 2, shall we?
Lie number 2. Oh, the fall, it ruined God's plan. This is plan B. Sorry, there are no plan Bs in God's economy. Well-intentioned Christians, throw this out.
I had to Google that. Soz. I wasn't sure what he meant. Fall is a term used in Christianity to describe the transition of first man and woman, Adam and Eve, from a state of innocent obedience to God to a state of guilty disobedience. What's disobedience? Disobedient. So essentially, do as I say, not as I do, or else God. So ruling by fear then, or as it's more commonly known, Kim Jong-un, or On, however you say his name. How's that working out for you? It's not doing that great in North Korea, is it?
We're choosing his pleasures over our own. What?
I'm sorry, but if God can really watch over billions of people, then he's more than capable of pleasuring himself. Even we can manage that. God wouldn't pleasure himself anyway because he knows it can make you go blind. Oh, sorry, you're over there.
Here's the reality. When you know Jesus Christ, what pleases him will gradually come to please us. If our pleasures aren't in alignment with his, then our pleasures are, what's the word I'm looking for?
Our own? Oh no, that's 2 words, isn't it?
Or sin. Because God's ways are the best ways. You can be certain if you choose to obey God and not your own desires, you will be doing the most pleasurable thing that you can do.
Now, far be it from me to lower the tone, but if you think that, you may be doing it wrong, pal.
Think of it like this. You're hungry. I approached you and said, you can have this prime rib, or you can have this plate of what I picked off of the front lawn after my dog was out there repeatedly. Which would be kinder? And the answer, of course, is not this. The prime rib. God's way is the prime rib.
Well, that's not confusing at all, is it? Yeah, a plate of prime rib would be a lot more pleasurable than a plate full of dog turds. But doesn't the Bible say whoever loves pleasure will remain a poor man?
And finally, and perhaps most mind-blowingly, where did truth come from?
Not the Bible, that's for sure.
God is good, God is able, and God is faithful. How do I know that's true? Because those are the 3 most common descriptors of God in the Bible. And God, unlike the devil, never lies.
So once again, the conclusion is that God is real and good because the Bible. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe and turn on bell notifications for more opinions that you didn't know you needed to hear. Thanks for watching, everybody. Love you, bye.
All right, watch this next. But before you do, make sure you subscribe. By order of the Creaky Blinder.